Do you see this?
Bill's asked me to do it. He wanted to share with his family. Yeah, I will do, yeah, when they're doing.
Amy, dress up for the occasion.
I know, look, she's dressed for the occasion, up and down.
Bill, you need to
Fix his chair.
Sit down and relax. Mastermind. Sorry.
Bill told me to bring in mine as well. As a backup, as a backup. I know.
Sorry. Looking close.
Right. Are we ready?
Don't worry, you're being filmed, Dave.
I know, honestly.
I know where you live.
Right, I'm going to start, if we're all here. When I was preparing these words to say about Bill, I really didn't know where to start. As though I worked with Bill for many years, this is just a fraction of his whole career at the Commission. He joined the Commission in 1979, before some of our younger colleagues were even born. Working in consents, registration, managing evaluations, before ending up in IAE. So being able to capture his life at the Commission in a few minutes is always going to be challenging. I also have Bill's own reputation to contend with. Those of you who are at Harmsworth House will remember Bill's leaving speeches, where he put on a bit of a show, visuals, VT, scripts, actors, special effects. So I've decided not to try and compete with that. Instead, I've decided to compile my top tips for how to be like Bill Fahey. This is my OG 117.5. Now this OG refers to a number of real-life case studies. Apologies if you've heard them before, which actually brings me nicely on to my first top tip. If an anecdote is worth saying once, it is worth saying many times. They never get old. And after 35 years, there's always bound to be at least one person that hasn't heard them. My top tip number 2, try your hardest to stay alert at all times. Now, Bill does have a tendency to get quite sleepy during meetings. So, if like Bill, you do fall asleep during an important taped interview, admittedly the room was very warm and there had been an early start, or you feel yourself drifting off during a team meeting, always make sure you sit next to someone who will give you a kick when they start to hear you snore.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Top tip number 3, never panic. Bill is extremely calm when faced with bizarre and eccentric trustees. When arriving at a charity's premises for a books and records visit, we were confronted with a stuffed, life-size pony, the nostril-stripping stench of dogs who seemed to have their own lounge, and when we walked past there was about 15 of them, all with their own armchair, and a wall-mounted shotgun. But Bill took this all in his stride. And when interviewing a trustee who was wearing only a grass skirt, and I mean only a grass skirt, Bill was professional and made eye contact at all times. Be prepared to travel to exotic locations. As you know, the Commission only ever goes to the best spots. Bill has been sent to many places on Commission business, and in recent years he's enjoyed 3 nights in Hull, 3 days in the freezing cold barn in Norfolk, and 2 days in the world's smallest office in Glasgow. Now my next top tip is you must be a people person. Bill is a people person, and he's got some excellent relationships with the police, especially the attractive female ones, like Nikki Hollanday of Kent Special Branch.
He took her from me.
Oh dear. She was here today, Bill. She was here today.
Now, I'm not going to divulge any more secrets about that, but let's just say Commission and Kent Special Branch relations have never been better. If you were to ask Bill his advice about covert surveillance, and he would say that his top tip, and I think Michelle should cover her ears for this one, is avoid it, especially outside Buckingham Palace, as this will ensure you avoid almost getting arrested during a training surveillance course. Now, this is from Bill's personal experience, and he'll tell you more about it later after a few drinks. And never embarrass yourself in front of colleagues. And this is more of an aspiration, I think, for Bill than managed to achieve. We were out for a Christmas party, and Bill, ever the comedian, tried to do one of Morecambe and Wise's gags with a bottle of wine, drinking it like this. However, he failed to realise that the bottle was uncorked and tipped red wine all over his lovely cream jumper. I could go on and on with lots of examples of Bill's adventures, as it is never a dull moment working with Bill. But my final tip is, there is never a wrong time for a bit of magic. Yes. And hopefully Bill will show us some magic later down the pub. But on a serious note, Bill has been my very good friend since I started at the Commission, and I know he's a friend to all of you. In fact, he's in such an integral part of the Commission, I'm not sure how we will continue without him. And I can't talk about Bill leaving without mentioning Kathy, his much loved and missed wife. After this traumatic and horrendous last couple of years, I hope that the future brings Bill some peace and the opportunity to relax. I know I will miss you, and I know everyone here will too. So I want everyone to join in a massive round of applause to give appreciation of our friendship and thanks for the 35-year service to the Commission. And here are some tokens of our appreciation.
Little thing, you know what that means, don't you? Have we got enough space?
Yeah, I hope so too.
I couldn't go without doing something. Visual.
Cool, yeah, no.
Over there.
Well, the Christmas you after making speeches, Bill.
Might stay here.
Yeah, you're fine. This isn't going to take too long, but...
It's okay, it's font 60.
Got to get in the mood for this. I don't want it to be sad though, because I don't want to be remembered in a sad way. So, I've prepared my end of the road show. So it's over to my guest presenter, Nigel Geary Andrews. What's for the end of the road show?
Right, you've got to imagine that I'm either one of Van or Deck.
Or both.
Right, today on Bill's End of the Road Show. Bill will for the first time revealing to everyone his statement of reasons for taking early retirement. Ooh. He will also be revealing the inner secrets of the Board of Commissioners regarding their future plans for the Commission, which promises to be very, very revealing. As a finale, he will be performing his mind-blowing, mind-boggling, mindless and pointless mind-reading trick, and will be choosing an unsuspecting member of the Commission to be his assistant. And as a second finale, bidding farewell to his friends and colleagues. So let's hear it for Bill and his End of the Road show.
I could have gone quietly today, but that would have been as hard for me as putting a needle through a balloon without popping it. So here we go.
Oh, the tension.
Instead, I'm going to go out with a... Okay. just want to let you know that the events, I should have brought my glasses, the events depicted in, I'm prepared. The events depicted in this speech are fictitious, and any similarity to any persons living or dead are just purely coincidental. And it has got an 18 cert, so anyone who's got a weak disposition better leave now. But there's no offensive material in this, and there's no nudity, okay? Steve, you said at the Christmas party, do you remember, the last Christmas party, you said, we've got to wear something festive. Yes. Cooper, you just had to take it one step too far.
I'm wearing a tie, what more do you want?
Anyway, after 35 years, it just seems only like yesterday, but on my first day, my mother came with me. She gave a bit of moral support. Here's a picture of me coming to the commission on my first day. I'm not that old. And Amy, my manager, had to put up with a lot. Didn't you, Amy? You had to put up with a lot.
Certainly did.
And quite often when you found me in these situations, I used to hear this sound. Moving on.
Yeah, please do, Mel.
Would you really like to know why I'm leaving? Would you?
Yes.
Go on. Well, I'm really, to be honest with you, I'm fed up listening to John Cooper eat every day. Well, would you like to listen to these sounds?
Yeah.
No, seriously. No, actually, someone said about me that I had a drink problem. Well, I resent that. The real reason why I'm going, I've got to tell you, the real reason is this guy turned up at my door and he said to me, he was trying to say, he said, I'll sell you a funeral package. I said, I'm not planning on going anywhere. He said, well, you don't want to be a burden on your kids when you do. I said, hang on a minute. I said, let's get this right, my kids are a burden on me. He said, you got an Austrian canopy, French velvet drapes and a German embossed coffin. I said, how much? He said, 20,000. I said, too much. He said, well, get rid of the Austrian canopy, just have the French velvet drapes and the German embossed coffin. I said, how much? He said, £10,000. I said, too much. He said, well, tell you what, just have the German embossed coffin. I said, how much? He said, £5,000. I said, no. By this time he was getting a bit frustrated, so he said, I'll tell you what we've got for you. Now I'm going to. Michelle took me into. Don't worry, Michelle. Michelle took me into the board this morning, and I had a little heart-to-heart with them. They were very nice to me, and they've told me their inner secrets for the future of the commission. I think I owe it to you to let you know. No secret. I said to, I had a man-to-man talk with William. Well, it was a William to William talk. I said to him, William, what this new money you're applying for the government, what happens if you don't get it? Because I mean, they're not going to come across with it easily. He said, well, don't worry, William. He said, we've started our fundraising already. And I said, I know, I've seen you on the internet. And another one. Anyway, I said to him, but yeah, William, what happens if you don't get the money? What's the government's reaction been to your request for more money? And he said, well, not that favourable. I said, what was it? When you pushed him, because I know David Cameron can be quite difficult. When you pushed him, what was his answer? His final answer? I said, what's this robust approach, this new robust approach? I know we need to go there because people don't really take us that seriously or haven't done in the past. I said, what's that all about? He said, well, we're fed up. No, we're fed up. We're fed up being perceived like this. And I said, and we want to be reacted to like this, and we don't want to be reacted to like this. I said, well, how do you want to be reacted to? He said, like that. I said, that's all very well and good. How are you going to put that into effect? He said, well, simply, he said, we're in the process of designing a new uniform for investigators. I said, can you show me? He said, yes. Oh, and he said, we got a prototype for the new investigator, and he showed it to me. I've got one here, a model. He said, when we get new powers, they're going to be able to say things like this.
You're coming with me. Thank you for your cooperation. Silence Murphy. If I had a pulse, it'd be racing. You have the right to remain silent. Saying cannon will be used against you.
You think that's funny? I was on the train this morning, that was going off. People were looking at me. Anyway, now for the end, finale of my show. I'm sorry it's coming to the end, but my colleagues in the press office, they were really worried. They said, Bill, look, we don't want this to get out. I said, look, don't worry. I haven't spoken to anyone outside. I'm fooling around in taxpayers' time. I would never forgive myself if the Commission got any bad press as a result of me.
Bill, did you not see today's paper? It's way too late for that.
I can't believe it. Someone's leaked this, haven't they? Someone's leaked this. Anyway. Right, I'm going to choose someone. I'm going to choose someone who is handsome, intelligent and talented to help me with this mind-blowing, mind-boggling, mindless trick. John Cooper. Oh, no, would you choose someone for me? Listen, I'm going to choose. Who am I going to choose?
Let's get close
I'm going to choose. As she's been so kind to help me, I'm going to choose Tallulah. Where is she? Stay there, Tallulah. You don't have to move. I won't embarrass you. I feel a connection with you. What? I know she's young enough to be my daughter. It's only a trick. Well, okay. Tallulah, I want you to think of any number. Have you got a number?
Yes.
You got one? You got one?
A number.
Yes. I've got one. No, I want you to think of any person, dead or alive, famous person, anyone. I've made a prediction. Who are you thinking of?
Elvis Presley.
Wow. I don't believe it. Elvis Presley is a baby. I know what you're thinking. What if you'd said Barack Obama or Muhammad Ali? Don't worry, you had that covered as well. I am at the end. I just want to say, I don't like saying goodbyes. My mother said to me this morning, she said, William, she said, make sure you do the solemn bit. I said, I don't do solemn, but I have to, so I'm not going to say, I don't like to speak too much, but a big thank you.
Excuse me?
A big... Amy, I do the gang. A big thank you to everybody. Yeah. This is how I'm really feeling inside at the moment, and I am. Well, I was down the tanning shop really. I can't keep calm because I am really going to miss you all. And
It's all in tears.
listen, I wish you health. I wish you happiness. I wish you success. And not as important, but I know some of you probably want some of this, loads of money. Now before I finish, I was thinking, how do I finish this? And I was looking at my table at home, and my wife bought some coasters for our house, and I thought there's no better way to actually finish by saying, live, laugh and love. Okay. So, Amy, you don't want to be giving me any alcohol.
Do you want to open it?
That, by the way, that joke with a drink, that was real drink. That was a shot. Sorry, Michelle, drinking on premises.
It was only a couple of years ago.
You really could get sacked for that.
I will have a good read of these. Oh. Yeah. Very much, really kind of you, Paul. Yeah, I'm not be needing this later when it gets out of hand. Yoga mat. Have you been speaking to Artie? Artie's had something to do with that. He's been having conversations about my knees, because my knees are...
Yeah, Stan Artie, the world of people.
Oh, that's great, thank you, that's really good. And I work, my knees, I do a bit of jogging, but my knees are starting to... Since I did the last marathon, there was no need for that. Was that? A young lady.
That's a good ball yoga.
Oh, I do like a bottle of red. Yeah, particularly when it's not going down the...
That was the one that you wasted.
I'll never forget Steve jumped up when it was that first time that he was just new to the unit, and he tried to help, fair play to him, he tried to help mop me down, save my embarrassment. Whilst John just sat there in hysterics. Wow, thank you very much, it's very generous of you all, appreciate that.
That's gift vouchers for cycling.
Yeah. I mustn't leave any of this behind, chuck this in the bin now.
It's your legacy, Bill.
Yeah, I know. Oh, right, so, Jeff has already told me